Good evening, class. I'm Mike Raffenstein, and this is Joe Townsend.
Hi guys, I'm Joe Townsend.
And tonight we're going to be sharing with you our presentation on our social media plan for Habitat for Humanity Lake County. So without further ado, I will slip over to our PowerPoint presentation. So how did we decide on Habitat Lake County? Well, 2 months ago, Joe did some volunteering through his company, Annexter, who's very involved with Habitat for Humanity, and worked on a build site throughout a day and got to meet several people from the Lake County Habitat. One of them was Tim Biendo, who is the marketing manager. After when we started this social media class, Joe did a little looking into what Lake County Habitat social media presence was and figured that they would be a good candidate and could potentially use some help from us. So we reached out to Tim and started the conversation. So we worked with Tim as well as his assistant, Anna. Our process for evaluation, we started off with the phone calls and we did question asking, just listen to them and found out what they thought was important, what they're doing now, what they hope to do in the future, and then just took a bunch of time and spent perusing through all of their different social media sites and making notes and recommendations. And we then followed up and had another call to follow that. And then lastly, today we had our follow-up call where we went through the entire presentation and laid out our recommendations. So in the beginning, Tim and Anna gave us a goal, and that was to double the number of Facebook users on their main Facebook page. They have 2 Facebook pages. We'll get into that more later. But on their main page, their agency page is where they're trying to attract their target sponsors. And those are corporations and individuals who can basically write checks for $60,000 to $120,000 to help facilitate these builds. So Habitat for Humanity is a nonprofit organization. They have 1,500 local affiliates throughout the United States, and to date have built or repaired over 600,000 houses, which has provided shelter for more than 3 million people worldwide. Their vision is a world where everyone has a decent place to live. And their mission, seeking to put God's love into action, Habitat for Humanity Lake County brings people together to build homes, communities, and hope. So Habitat Lake County was established in 1989 and to date have built almost 200 homes housing over 600 people. Annually, they use 10% of undesignated funds to build homes internationally, and to date have built almost 300 homes in the Philippines housing over 1,000 people. So to date, every night over 1,700 people sleep safe in a clean, decent, and affordable home through the efforts of Habitat for Humanity Lake County. So some of the things that make it possible, the 4 factors here for creating this affordable housing are that the houses are sold at no profit with no interest charged on the mortgage. Homeowners are required to volunteer their time, 500 hours of sweat equity, which they can put into building their house, someone else's home, or volunteering at the Habitat Restore or doing any of the other functions that are required to maintain the organization. So these individuals, corporations, and faith groups that donate provide all the financial support for Habitat. The land is typically donated or partially funded through the federal, state, or county government. So taking a look at their current social media use, this is a snapshot of their webpage where you can see that they have 2 different Facebook pages. One is their Restore site and the other is their agency site. We'll dive deeper in just a moment. You can also see that they highlight Twitter and LinkedIn here They do use very little bit of YouTube, but that's not highlighted here. And have used Pinterest in the past, but have not in a while, so they're not highlighting those on their website, which I think at this point makes sense. So taking a look at their first Facebook page, which is the Restore site, you'll see that they have 2,700 followers, which is pretty strong. Tim and Anna commented on this and said that the majority of these followers are what they call bargain hunters. The Restore store itself, which you can see a picture of there, takes in donations from corporations and individuals. So it could be leftover supplies. I know Coleman Cable had just donated a bunch of extension cords. People donate antiques, and then individuals come on, or come into the store, come onto the Facebook page, and find deals. These are mostly do-it-yourselfers that are looking for bargains. So not so much volunteers or donors that are on this page. So that's kind of why they have them separated. Now the next site here you'll see is their main Facebook page, and this is the site where they're looking to gain followers that are able to make those large donations, or at least are influencers that could potentially move it upstream and get involvement from large corporations. And you can see here that there are 903 current followers on this page. So this next screen here shows top left, there's some Baxter employees. This was something that was highlighted on the main Facebook page. On the right hand side, those are pictures of Annixter employees at a build, and bottom left is for a fundraiser that Habitat is promoting. So these are the typical things that they have on their main Facebook page, and we think fit really well. So looking at evaluating their overall social media performance right now, we mostly looked at the Facebook page because that's their biggest use and where we feel they can get the most growth out of. They currently are posting about 2 to 3 times per week. However, many of those are shares from sister organizations. So true Habitat Lake County posts are probably about 1 a week. We also found a couple 2-week gaps of inactivity on their Facebook page and Twitter as well. Looking over at the Twitter account, they've got 400 followers. However, 75% of those followers are other Habitat for Humanity. So it's kind of an inflated number. So having just 100 followers, we also want to make an effort to get them more involved in Twitter. When we take a look at the content that they've been posting on their social media, like we had seen on the Facebook pages, there's pictures of work in progress, final completed projects, definitely highlighting volunteers and donors and events, and sharing of other Habitat posts. One thing we did notice that on their agency Facebook page, they had a job posting for a position at Habitat for Humanity Lake County, which we felt was out of place and would better serve them on LinkedIn. We also found some inaccurate information on their main Facebook page, an area listed that they have provided 100 homes and housing 450 people when their website actually shows that it's 200 and 600 people, which is the accurate information. So we did point that out to Tim and Anna. They were very happy that we pointed that out and are going to make the change. So as far as the team, just being the 2 of them and having many other responsibilities, they definitely have limited resources, which is affecting their social media performance. So Joe and I discussed what we thought the importance and how important social media is to this organization. Being that donating and volunteering are really social in nature, we feel that social media is of the utmost importance and is a very easy way for them to give recognition to the volunteers and donors. And most people that are volunteering or organizations appreciate recognition in this way. That I'm going to hand it over to Joe, and he's going to talk about some of our recommendations.
Thank you, Mike. So as you can see, our recommendations from the get-go for Habitat Lake County really start with the vision of their social media marketing, really creating that clear message. Tim and Anna need to answer the questions: who are they trying to reach? What's their ultimate goal? When will you provide content, i.e. the frequency? Where will you provide the content? And why ultimately are they doing social media? Currently, if you look at what Habitat has, they are doing social media because they feel that everyone else is, so we kind of have to be there, right? They need to have a dedicated path to give them better guidance. And a social media plan is going to do that. It's going to govern some of their decisions that they make in the future. Their social media really needs to start to work together. Currently, if you look at their programs or campaigns, they don't have anyone that are really in sync between Facebook, Twitter, or LinkedIn. They're really individual contributors, and they're just the posts or the pictures are thrown up on Facebook as a way of educating, as a way of just getting it out there. But they really could create some marketing programs using LinkedIn, using Twitter, and using Facebook, all in sync with each other to really make sure that they hit a variety of demographics. Lastly, part of that social media plan, they need to have that the dedicated internal social media team. So currently, Tim is a director of marketing and Anna is the assistant. They should really document if there's any other people that are going to be involved. Who are those other people going to be, and to what extent will their access be to the social media sites for posting or for monitoring control? So starting with Facebook, we feel that they have to clean it up. They are targeting individual donators and as well as corporations for proceeds to help fund the builds, right? Those types of individuals, those types of corporations are going to want to be affiliated with a very professional image from Habitat Lake County. So they're not going to want to see a job posting on their Facebook page that they're affiliated with. That job posting has a better fit on LinkedIn. So certainly a very clean image on Facebook is what our ultimate goal is for them. Next, videos over pictures over context. So Mike and I did a lot of research, and we found out that the Facebook algorithm right now is benefiting videos over pictures over context. So for instance, when Habitat is putting their post up on Facebook and 50 people are liking it and it's all text, right? Those same, maybe if they throw a picture of it, they're getting 100 to 125. And videos, people are seeing almost 4 times the amount of likes on their videos. I work for Annixter, and this is something that we've seen as a trend through our social media, where a context or a post maybe has 100 likes and our videos are at 550, 600 likes. So we want to see Habitat Lake County really start to utilize more videos throughout their Facebook page, especially since they document very well from the beginning when that shovel touches the dirt on their build sites, all the way to that dedication ceremony of when the keys are handed over to the homeowners, future homeowners. Lake County is very large. Within Lake County, each one of the smaller communities, Lake Forest, Deerfield, Libertyville, Waukegan, Antioch, are going to have hangouts in Facebook. Habitat needs to be involved with those hangouts. Here's why. People want to we found that people want to donate their time and be involved, especially with great organizations like Habitat, but sometimes don't know how to reach the individuals that they need to for information. If Habitat Lake County is involved in all those different hangouts, that just broadens their spectrum of people that they can reach out to. Now, all of a sudden, you may have a family in Waukegan that wants to donate their time, and oh, look, here's Habitat Lake County on our local Facebook Hangout page. Hey, I can like them, I can follow them, and that will lead them to a path of being able to connect to Habitat and donate their time for Habitat. And lastly, on Facebook, they really need to cross-market themselves with the corporations that they're involved in, as well as the corporations they want to be involved in. There's no reason why Habitat's logo or link should not be on those corporations' websites, as well as those corporations having their presence on the Habitat website as well as Habitat Facebook. Next, LinkedIn and Twitter. About 95% of the social media used for Habitat Lake County is is focused on their Facebook page. LinkedIn, Twitter maybe get the other 5%. This is something that they need to take more advantage of, and really put more of an effort in LinkedIn and Twitter, especially with the younger demographics starting to use these a little bit more. We've noticed through some research that younger demographics are starting to move away from Facebook because the older demographics, parents, aunts, uncles, grandmas, grandpas, are starting to use it, and some of those younger demographics don't want to be involved in the social media that their parents are on. Also, the younger demographics may not have the additional income right now to donate a large fund or donate money to Habitat, but since they want to be involved, especially for a cause like Habitat, they may be able to push some of their corporations to get more involved, and that can lead to some to funding. Regarding LinkedIn and Twitter, we like to see them really start to use a soft sell. Talk about why volunteering is important. Not necessarily attach Habitat's name to the volunteering effort, but certainly talk about why volunteering or what's going on in their market, different things that are affiliated with Habitat, but not so much, hey, Habitat's name is on this. Because the person already viewing that post is going to see that you work for Habitat, right? Some other social media that we want to see them involved in, Flickr. They take a tremendous amount of photos and don't have currently a way of managing them. Currently, it's all on a hard drive, right? Flickr could be a tool that they can upload those photos of the different build sites. They can monitor, control them. They can post them. And they can certainly use them for slide shares, which we'll talk about soon. We'd like to see them open up and start a blog. Not just Tim and Anna, but maybe an open blog for other employees of Habitat, as well as Habitat people nationwide that are now following. In the future, we'd like to see them pursue the development of an app, Habitat for Humanity Lake County. Habitat already has a general app that you can download, but we've noticed that individual branches, such as Habitat for Humanity Smith County, have an application. There's no reason why Lake County can't. So we'd like to see them in the future pursue or inquire regarding this technology. So, and then lastly, promotion. They really need to become more involved in the business networking, especially in Lake County. There's a women's business chapter. The Lake County Chamber of Commerce is another one that they should be involved in, as well as on LinkedIn, there's a Lake County business networking group that they can also be involved in as well. They can integrate their web presence into offline advertising, meaning they need to put the logos of the Facebook, of Twitter, of LinkedIn, of potentially YouTube if they use them, on their brochures that they use for corporations or individual donators. They need to get more involved with trade shows and events, especially if they really want to make a push for social media and marketing. This is a great time to do so. They have vehicles, they have trucks. They can use those vehicles as billboards, as moving billboards. Not so much putting a gigantic Facebook logo on the side of one, but certainly a small area, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, especially driving around Lake County. People are going to see that and know that they can reach out to Habitat that way. Lastly, networking with volunteers. They do a great job of talking with the volunteers, really getting to know them, especially on the build sites. They need to create a small survey, 5 questions, that they can use for those volunteers and find out if those volunteers are using social media and what social media they're using. This would be a great opportunity too, especially from a monitor and control aspect of linking into the 20 and 30 somethings and finding out what new social media is out there that they may want to inquire about and take a look at. So speaking of monitor and control, the preferred tools that Mike and I would like to see them used for their social media, given that there's only 2 of them right now for the marketing team. Hootsuite. Hootsuite's going to be, is going to enable them to manage and track their social media marketing campaigns. Buffer. Buffer is a social media tool that you can use, that you can schedule the post across all of your social media sites on a daily, weekly basis. This is a great tool for Tim and Anna because there's only 2 of them, and now Tim can sit down. He can create the post that he would like for the week for Habitat. He can run the schedule, and Buffer will take care of the rest for him. Animoto is a great tool that we use at Annixter to create simple slideshows from the pictures. They can use Flickr directly into Animoto, or they can load the pictures right from their hard drive. They can also set it to music, excuse me. And again, going back to Facebook, the Facebook algorithm, really liking those slideshows. And the slideshows, once they're completed in Animoto, can easily be uploaded to Facebook, to YouTube. They can save them on their hard drive. They can send them out to corporations that maybe have funded particular build sites direct. Some alternatives that we talked about with them: Sprout Social. It's great for posting, collaborating, and scheduling, but it's only used across Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. So if Tim doesn't want to expand his social media and he wants to just really focus on Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn, Sprout Social would be a great tool for them to use. ReachPod and Sociota are alternatives to Hootsuite. We've realized in our research regarding Hootsuite that it's sometimes not user-friendly. And ReachPod and Sociota have the same capabilities, but have gotten some friendlier reviews. And last but not least, one of the alternatives that we liked was Bitly, which is a calculator of social media. It's a way for Tim and Anna to be able to see what type of following they're really getting from their social media campaigns. They can't schedule and post from Bitly, but they can at least have an accurate calculation of how it's working. So the timeline for implementation for Habitat, we've stretched across the year. Those first 3 months are crucial for them, really to create a social media plan of the who, what, when, where, and why, and really to clean up their current social media, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. Look at what they're posting, why they're posting it there, and have some meaning behind the context in which they're putting out for the public. The next 3 months, we'd like to see them introduce new social media, start to use Flickr, start to use YouTube a little bit more actively, create that blog, and reach out to more followers. Invest in the social media tools, Hootsuite, Buffer, and Animoto, and really start to cross-market your cross-marketing plan, targeting the new corporations and really expanding your reach within your current corporations that you're working with. And I mean, most important in this part is really promoting the social media push for Habitat Lake County. Moving over, the 6 to 9 month mark, you can continue the social media strategy that they have across these sites, but really now we want to really pick up the monitoring control. At this point, they should have enough data across their social media marketing to have an accurate screenshot of how well it's working, and take a look at what's going on for trends in their marketplace, as well as the competition. Not so much the competition of organizations building homes, but any volunteer organization that someone can donate money or time is competition for Habitat for Humanity Lake County. And then those last 9 to 12 months, here's where we'd like to see them make some adjustments. It's marketing. It's going to change. It changes on a daily, weekly, quarterly basis. So we'd like to see them adjust given how their current programs are working and the trends in the marketplace. They need to keep up with the education across additional new social media that they'll get or that they'll be able to maybe understand via the surveys from volunteers, as well as hopefully this new social media tools open up more time and space for Tim and Anna to do other marketing programs. They can educate themselves on competition trends, and really in this time frame start to look at the app. Not so much maybe from an execution standpoint, but definitely inquire who can help them and what their capabilities are. So in conclusion for myself, I really liked working on this project. Habitat, I liked volunteering for them that day. They're a great organization. They do a lot of good in the community, and not just in Lake County, but across our nation. Something that one of the strongest takeaways that I've taken from this is just the depth of social media and how important it is to have a development plan that will help govern and guide you, as well as using the proper tools that are user-friendly, but are also going to give you the answers to the questions that you're looking for as to how well your marketing programs are working. I'm going to pass it over to Mike.
So as far as my take on the whole project, I really enjoyed it as well. And I think what I got the most enjoyment out of it was our call today with Tim, where we went through the same presentation that we just went through with you guys. And you could tell that he was jotting notes down. He was asking us questions. He was involved. He has a passion for what he's doing, and he does see that Habitat for Humanity Lake County can have a better social media presence. So, some of the tips that Joe gave, more areas to look down to make their job easier, really sparked interest. And I can tell that Tim is going to be researching those tools. And besides that, just going through the whole project itself really opened my eyes to a lot of the different tools available and how a strategy is really needed in order to effectively manage social media. So that being said, thank you guys for your time, and be looking forward to hearing your presentations.